Hello everyone, and I'm the Raider, and welcome back to Destinies. It's been a hectic 2 months, and it's been the most stressful 2 months. Actually, 2 to 3 months. January was not fun either. And it's better to not record videos when you're very upset or going through it with your anxiety. So I decided to take like those 2 months to just grind through it and then come back to make videos. So I apologize, but I'm back. I will finish this, and then we'll do other things. I hope I can remember everyone's accents.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother.
Oh yeah, Athena, I'm so glad for you.
More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing, if I could. Paco came to the robotics lab about 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mama Metis. Then Mommy Metis fell down after I was recharging, so I didn't know anything afterwards.
I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise...
Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here, in the evidence that can help me find this person who came to the robotics lab before 2 p.m. Man, robotics is all I've been hearing about lately, too. For those who... Well, no, I'm not going to say it. Oh, yeah, I know someone who's into the robotics stuff. And, they're preparing for a competition with it. And... I'm just trying to think. It's been a while, and I kind of forgot where we were more or less. I knew we were kind of at the end with the main plot. So I don't know where we were at, really. Give me a sec, guys. It's been a while. Can I see the dialogue? Will it go back that far even? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Because I know we did most of Blackpool stuff. So... But with the heart, the pamphlets... Let's see. What do I have? No. No. No, that was lunch right there. believe it's the video. Yeah, okay. Sorry guys, that took a while. This is Prosecutor Blackwell leaving the scene after the incident around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does this video show anyone else passing by before then? I didn't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene. Very well then, let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, and Simon looked pretty good back then. There! Please stop it right there! Oh god. It's just like you said, there's a man leaving the scene of the crime. Wait, no one bothered to look? Miss Sykes, do you remember this person?
That's him! I'm sure of it! He's wearing my mother's jacket! Give it to me! I did, but I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes?
Can you see it? There's the slash I made with the utility knife that day. I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere.
Oh my god. So then, everything Miss Sykes said... Exactly. It proved that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. That's terrifying. Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and the mask that there were in the robotics lab.
The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge.
By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up until that point. Words. All to disguise the real time of the death. Oh, why? I miss that. I do miss that. It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright. But I'm afraid it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in the video. And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond a doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab was truly wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the scene of the crime? What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing her jacket, how did it get back to the lab? I feel like that's the worst way you could do that, but that's just me. The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. In order to conceal the fact that he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. The culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved! Ah, crap. Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. Well, there's a difference between 2 to 3 p.m. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket? A puzzling question indeed. When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back? Yep, there you go. The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they came across a murder, focused on their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken the advantage of the split second to plant the jacket. That's entirely risky. What the heck? In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body. I would never have thought of that. I still love this music. Oh, this music's still a banger. Order in the court. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth? The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule for the HAT-1, in preparation for the HAT-1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports on those 3 people. Oh, thanks, Edgeworth. You will? You should check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face with a theater mask, it might mean he hid his facial data. It might mean that his facial data was once registered. Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean? I have to admit it. I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial anyway. Oh my god. Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding? Same, Judge.
Is it true, boss? Does this mean
I can't believe it! It's over! I won! I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent. Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial? That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say I see no need to further prolong. It's not you, it's Aura. Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence. Yeah, it's Aura. I remember that much.
The little princess who was truly really beloved by Metis and who repaid that love with death. All these years, hating Athena was the only thing that kept me going.
That is sad, oh god.
But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Well, therapy and you're going to jail, unfortunately. Miss Blackwell. How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that?
Shut up, Simon! You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted.
Oh, we know, you were in love. Then what did you want for her?
Marriage!
I'm kidding. Did you really just go there, Your Honor? Even Phoenix knows. Aura, there is something I've wanted to say if you will lend me an ear. God, who speaks like this? I just read Shakespeare's The Tempest, and this is similar to that. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' murderer is. You do? Right, Dono, you asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom. The person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars, which, how did he do, by the way? 7 years ago, someone hatched a plan to sabotage the HAT-1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. All this time I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him. Oh, how exciting! What was the lead? Judge, you're not helping. A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for a proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotion. So I asked her to evaluate the recording for an analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes! Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. Well, what about James Bond? I don't think he gives a frick. In addition to that one, Dr. Sykes' results in the recordings were surely among his targets. But his search at the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic. He couldn't find them? But where could they have been? Isn't it? Not them? Whatever. Who is to say? Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner's especially talented at that sort of thing. Which partner? Oh, Taka! I work to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. Oh my god, you did what? I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity. You bloody butcher became my taunt. What the heck? And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. What about Athena? I mean, granted, I don't read that as a ship. I will. I better hold on to this real tight. This took a turn, right? Oh, is that it? Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of the voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Okay. Subject deemed to have a unique psychological makeup with no emotional fluctuation. That's terrifying. No emotional fluctuation. Huh? A spy who experiences no emotion, not sadness nor anger, and naturally no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? I would argue thousands of Kingdom Hearts nonsense do that, but I'm not getting into that. This creature is the wrath that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. The Phantom indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world. Well, that and Phoenix and Kristoff, but... well then. Since a faint image of this man has started to take shape, based on what we learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. You're not in charge! It's Aura! Unless Aura was chill with you going back. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring the proceedings to an end. You can't do that? Is Aura chill with this now?
Whatever. Do what you want.
Okay. You'll hear no objections from me, for once. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over. Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? Along with Athena, right? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. This isn't an official trial, though. He would still have to go through this. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Athena, you're more than welcome. If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. What now? You? Who? I'm going to stab you! Where have you been? Can you actually do... Well, it's not official. I guess anything goes. Apollo? What is the meaning of this? Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. I'm not even on the... What? Why, Apollo? Why did you do this to us? You had one job! Oh god, that's how that ends? Alright, and then the latter half. Oh, thank god. So I was close. This is the one I used? Yeah, that's episode 5. Oh my god. Well, there we go. Yeah. Actually, I should... Yeah. Apollo, you had one job. Just one. It was the simplest. Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. It's very simple. This isn't much to explain. The defendant, Miss Athena Sykes, might not be innocent. What are you talking about? The case from 7 years ago has been settled. I'm not talking about the past here. I'm talking about the present case. I'm still not clear who killed Clay Terran. Oh, right.
But Apollo, why would you...
Miss Sykes, please listen quietly to what I have to say. What in the world is Apollo trying to do? Your Honor, please allow me a little more of the court's time. But this is a trial from the case for the 7 years ago. Miss Blackwell, I'd like to ask a favor of you. Just as you lost someone close to you, I lost someone close to me too. I'm sure you want to know the real truth of what happened as much as I do.
Apollo. Sure, you know what? I'm all for the truth. Now let's see you expose the princess's guilt. Judge, I give my permission. Continue with the trial.
Very well. Is that alright with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I do not give a crap. The prosecution has no objections. Let's hear Mr. Justice's testimony. I'll have the police investigation report brought immediately. Not you too, Edgeworth. I really hope it's because you have something up your sleeve. Does Edgeworth even care about Apollo? Very well, your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Does he even have one? Apollo just walked in the door. As you wish. Let's review the case of the murder of Mr. Clay Terran. It was made clear that the previous trial that Solomon Starbuck was not his killer. Therefore, the true culprit was someone else. Oh, not this again. On that day, this culprit waited for the astronauts in boarding lounge 1. The two men made their escape out of the Space Museum. The killer attacked Mr. Terran with the same type of knife that was used 7 years ago. What are the goddamn odds of that? The murderer then escaped into the Space Center Museum. Next, Director Yuri Kozma switched the launch pads. Yes, I remember this nightmare. After that, the culprit exited the Space Museum and escaped via boarding lounge 2. Therefore, the trial must be clear who Mr. Terran's true killer was. In other words, we must discover who it was that escaped the Space Museum that day. Thank you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, is the defense ready? Are we? Yes, Your Honor. I guess we are. I better rearrange my evidence. Evidence swapped into the court record. Now then, Mr. Justice, your testimony, if you please. Oh, gosh. You had one job, Apollo! I suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Terran. My growing suspicion was confirmed when when this incriminating evidence presented itself. In addition, she's the only one who could have utilized the launch pad switch to escape. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder. Apollo! One job! You had one job! Everyone had one job! Order in the court. Mr. Justice, if you realize you are charging your own co-worker with murder, don't you? I mean, we've all accused each other of murder, right? Anything interesting. The only person who hasn't been accused of murder is Clavier when I think about it. Yes, Your Honor, because that is the conclusion my investigation has led me to. But Apollo! Why? How could you suspect me too? Yeah, where'd this come from, dude? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I don't get it. Just what did you find out over the past few days to make you think this? I think, yeah, whatever. This music still bops. What first made you suspicious of Miss Sykes? It all started when Miss Sykes and I were investigating the crime scene. When she saw the weapon that killer had... oh my god. When she saw the weapon that killed Mr. Terran, my bracelet reacted. Can you submit this as evidence? She said she'd never seen the knife before, but my bracelet told me otherwise. And then, every time after that, my bracelet would react when she talked about the case. Poor Apollo must have been beside himself during that investigation. Yeah, I guess I would feel really guilty if my partner was lying to me and I was a lie detector. I didn't know what to do or think. I couldn't even sleep. Jesus! In that condition, I knew it wouldn't be any good in court. So I decided to wear an eye patch, so I wouldn't be able to perceive any of her tales. That's both smart and insane. So that's why Paul was acting so strangely. That's the only thing you can think of? But the reason Miss Sykes unconsciously reacted to the knife that way is because she stabbed her mother's murder with the one identical to it 7 years ago. Can you, what? Hey! That knife was also with the murder weapon that was used to kill Clay Terry. My bracelet could no. My bracelet could have also reacted to her because she knew she was this killer too. I guess he has a point. Shouldn't you be getting PTSD from seeing him do this? My bracelet wasn't the only reason I became suspicious of her. I love the sprites in Ace Attorney, one of the best things. Sorry, Fire Emblem, but this was better. That's the lighter that was found at the Space Museum with her fingerprints on it, right? But even if it seems decisive, there must be other facts we don't know about it yet. If that's so, go ahead and prove it then. Look, honestly, I don't want to believe it's true either, but Miss Sykes was the only one who was in the Space Museum at the time of the murder. What about the other people? Did they all get out? But Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes had absolutely no motive to kill Mr. Tarrant. 7 years ago, Miss Sykes lived at the Cosmos Space Center. I'm not having fun with horse day. It wouldn't be strange if she had some kind of connection to him. Besides, people sometimes kill for motives we can't even imagine. You are really a prick. I know you've seen plenty of cases like that in your own career, Mr. Wright. You are a prick now. I still can't believe this. How can you actually suspect Athena, Apollo? There's some Roman tragedy and there's some... Is it Roman or Greek? It's one of them. Oh, God, you prick. Isn't it possible that somebody else used that same escape route? I'm afraid not, Mr. Wright. Okay. Why not? Recall that oh my God! Recall there is a security camera in boarding lounge 1 aimed at the launch pad doors. It's the camera that captured Mr. Tarrant and Mr. Starbuck. But there's also another security camera in boarding lounge 2. Why didn't we get that? It recorded Mr. Tarrant's killer, or rather, Miss Sykes coming out of the Space Museum. Okay, kid. A camera in boarding lounge 2. First I've heard of it, but it makes sense. Really? Athena said she had snuck into the Space Museum the night before the incident. And then was overcome and passed out until around noon the next day. Did no one find her? You're closing the museum. Oh, whatever.
I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody's around, so I just went on to the boarding lounge too.
That must have been when the camera captured her. And that's what made Apollo suspect her even more. But wait a minute. In that case, it most likely recorded the true culprit as well. Why? That's a negative. Oh no, it's a negative on that one too, Mr. Wright. In that footage taken after the incident, Miss Sykes is the only one who appears. Imagine if Clavier... What? Why? Imagine if Clavier's watching. He's probably like, oh, not again. I know that's not something to joke about, but that was funny to me when he shook the pose. Order, order in the court. That can't be, but if it is, then this is incredibly incriminating. I've only now made that joke. Wasn't you who proved in the previous trial that that was the way the true culprit escaped? Was via the Space Museum after the paths had been switched? We kind of doomed ourselves. A fact you previously proved turned on its ear, leaving your client high and dry. I must say, that is a vintage Phoenix Wright. Actually, I think we're going to stop there. Yeah, that's a good place to stop, because then I'll get into the rest of the stuff. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, comment, and do whatever you want. And have a wonderful day. Goodbye.